This is Good Morning Mumbai with Hrishi K.
I'm pleased to welcome a couple of my favorite actors. One being the wonderful KK. Great to see you. How are you doing?
Thank you, Hrishi K. I'm doing well.
And Saiyami returns. What's up, yeah?
I'm so
Good to see you.
happy to be back here. Thank you for having us.
And for the very first time, Karan. Good to see you, brother.
Very good to see you, man.
We've been interacting on social media for a while, and he says, man, I listen
know.
to you and this and that. And you know, that's very dangerous when you tell a radio presenter that you like listening to him.
No,
Because
and
it gives him leeway to talk more.
That is true. And it's always a pleasure listening to your voice. Really.
And the beautiful Sana, how are you doing?
Hi,
how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Excellent. So I believe Neeraj and yourself go back a while, and this is from television, and not no disrespect to Ekta, but not this serial episodic kind of television, but a television which is almost like a precursor to what's happening in special ops.
We used to have these 1 hour formats earlier, the star bestsellers, etc., etc. And that time television was good, really good. Daily soaps hadn't yet come in. So we used to do these small little stories, one film at a time. Yeah. So we belong to that era. And Neeraj, me, Sheetal, we've collaborated there.
And was he? It's like a question you ask about all prodigies. Was he born brilliant? So
He was
brilliant
born.
always.
Yeah, he was born as a brilliant writer.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Direction, I think he sort of learnt on the way, but as a writer, he was brilliant even then. It's amazing the way he writes, the way he can sum up a particular scene in a very skewed manner. Is something that only can come if you're born with it.
And I remember you telling me once in an interview saying that to you, the human being is more important than the profession. You know, and what you're trying to say is that he gets the human being beyond the lawyer and the special ops guy and things like that.
Yes, that's the role versus person that I was talking about. So I play people, I don't play roles. So he gets that very well. So he presents to you before the door goes. I repeat this again. And he sort of helps the actor in finding that human being. Unfortunately, there are not many who do that. So Neeraj is special.
And this must be a dream part. I mean, when you grow up with stuff like Mission Impossible and Ethan Hunt and things like that, for like when girls grow up with dolls, boys grow up with the stuff like that, man.
You said that. That's what you said.
I mean, here are you doing exactly that. I mean, espionage and the thrills and the works.
No, honestly speaking, for every boy, it's a true dream to kind of be that spy agent and be undercover and do all the cool stuff. And I couldn't be thrilled that I'm doing it with Neeraj Pandey because he owns this genre. He really, really knows it. And very rightly said by KK sir that he writes so beautifully that makes your job as an actor so easy because it helps you find the person in the character that you're playing. And this was a true joy, and I couldn't be more elated that this comes out 17th of March and people get to see it.
Yeah, streaming on Hotstar. And here's a girl who didn't play with dolls, who kicked butt and continues to kick butt. So how's all the physical fitness going? I mean, if you add it to your martial arts, there's the cricket still going fine. You're such an inspiration. I always say that, but I do absolutely nothing to live up to it. But
That's
I'm just
very,
saying.
very kind of you. But like you said, it was a role that I had to jump into because there was action. There was a girl like kicking ass, literally. There was Neeraj sir, but there was the action a carrot which was hung in front of me, which I couldn't resist. It was lots of fun because we had this French action director called Cyril who was, I called him the Spider-Man because literally if you turned around, he used to be on top of a building, jumping across 2 buildings if he was bored in between takes. So I had a ball with him because it was just so much of, besides on-set stuff that I learned from him for what was required for the series, just usual fitness tips that he gave me, which was a part of my routine right now. Very excited to play a raw agent for the first time, a gun in my hand. You suddenly feel so powerful when you hold a gun in your hand. It's very strange, but holding a gun, beating up guys, it was all very exciting.
And Sana, you have been in a Neeraj Pandey film before.
Yes.
What film is that and what were you doing in that one?
Well, I did a small cameo in Toilet Ek Prem Katha with Akshay sir. So that was my first association with Friday Filmworks. But obviously, I was only working under his production, so working under his direction was something that I always dreamt about, to be honest. And I always somewhere in my heart wished that I get a call from Friday Filmworks. And when I got a call for this, I was very excited and I jumped onto it. I still remember that the moment my phone was ringing and there was this Friday Filmwork flashing with Avi's name, my heart just said, I'm doing it. And then I was like, hello. So, that is how I felt. And I remember going to Neeraj sir's office and Shivam sir narrated the script to me. And, there was a voiceover, which I was not saying to Shivam sir, but I was like, sir, itna time waste mat karo. I'm already in. Don't convince me. Like, I am already ready for it. And I was just telling them last time that, I remember coming back home and I realized that I don't even know the name of the web. And then I had to call them, what is the name of the web? Because I was so excited that I didn't even ask them what is the name of the web. So, yeah.
I'm just really happy that at least the premise is a real life incident, which is the attack on Parliament. Otherwise, my logical question would have been, are we giving fuel to fire to Islamophobia? Because what's happening with a lot of these terrorist kind of series, fast paced and slick as it is that, the central villain is always the Muslim terrorist. But this actually happened, and I want you to talk about that. The premise, I'm sure all of it is not real life. It's interwoven.
It's based on a particular attack, and carries on from there. But everything else is fictionalized. And to be very frank, I just don't buy this whole proposition of taking cinema too seriously. Because all cinema is fiction. Even a biopic is fiction. The moment I see Ben Kingsley and not Mahatma Gandhi there, you have entered the world of make-believe. So that's why you have a category called documentary, and you have cinema. All cinema is fictional. So people take cinema a bit too seriously and in their lives, and they should be taken for other reasons rather than these kind of reasons. So I would request people not to get into that area. And as far as this series goes, yes, it is completely fictional. The entire plot is fictional, but obviously you got to make it believable. That's the point in cinema. You make things believable, and that's what we have done in this series.
So what happens when you do 7 or 8 hours together, Karan? Is that do you have an aha moment in every episode? Because one is you just let it be. Like I've seen series like Little Things where nothing much happens.
Right.
It just flows. People love that stuff, and then there is series where there's one big aha moment which might come in the middle, come at the end, and things like that. What is the style of Special Ops?
I really hope that people get the aha moment continuously in each episode, because that's the way it's written. For an actor, it's an absolute joy, and especially because I've come from television, where primarily you don't have a bound script to kind of really know what's happening in the show in totality. So when you have these 8 hours written and you even get to perform it, you can measure your own performance even for the moments that you want the audience to kind of enjoy the cliffhangers, so to say. So it's an absolute delight, quite frankly. And there is a whole bunch of aha moments that while I was reading, I was like, damn. Especially the climax. Unfortunately, throughout this promotion, I feel like there's so much that you can't talk about. But the climax is an absolute aha episode. Like it's gonna be crack. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
So Anupama Chopra and myself are friends, and whenever there's a good interview that her team WhatsApps me. I saw an interview in which you said you auditioned in a loo.
That is true.
So tell the radio audience about that.
I mean, I don't know how I really feel about Anupama Chopra sending me an interview that starts with me saying that. We'll judge that later. But the truth of the story is that I was traveling in Missouri. I was in this small hill called Landor. I don't know if you know.
Yeah, of course, everybody knows.
Yeah, so it's a little high up. There is no network. So I had this casting guy who was calling me to send us, to send a self-test. And I was like, man, I've been testing for such a long time in Bombay. Wahan kuch nahi hua. Ab yahan pahadon se kya self-test bhejunga? So I was like, I'll come back and I'll do it. And he kept calling me, and I was like, dude, the problem is that I don't have network here. So if I have to send this, I'll have to travel back to Missouri and then probably send it to you. He's like, listen, just send it to me. I just want to see if it manages to stall the audition process for them. I was like, chalo, theek hai. So I was traveling with someone, and we were trying to find light to kind of do it. I was in peak winter, so it was anyways really dim. Hotels are dim, so I found the public restroom, because that's a nicer way to put it, where it was really well lit, and because when you're shooting from a phone camera, you want the sound to travel to the camera. So
Sure.
our bathrooms are perfect atmosphere for that. So I quickly got like 5-7 minutes in the middle of people walking in and walking out, and I sent a test, and fortunately it did manage to stall the rest of the audition.
That's great audio sense. Like I always tell people when they call me for location interviews, get me a small room so that it doesn't echo too much. So good on you on picking that one.
I know. I think I should put that audition tape out. Yeah, it's going to be on my Instagram post
Yeah, you
very
should.
soon.
Someday,
You
brother,
should.
someday. So I saw you whipping some guy to smithereens,
Two of us, that makes you and me both.
furious, with a belt.
It
So-
was with a rod.
With a rod.
With a rod, yes.
How do you manage to not actually hit the guy and hit the guy? You know
No,
what I mean?
the guy actually was an actor called Shankar, a very, very good actor who's a part of the series, and he said, "Go for it."
He took a few blows.
Yeah, happily.
He happily took the blows.
Do you buy him dinner later or something?
So he took the blows, but it was also Cyril kind of, cheating the camera and all of that. But again, with the art department, you have all these tricks when you make films. Is you have not really a rod, but it looks like a rod. But it was so much fun to just go out there and whack this guy. It's almost like a childhood dream coming true.
Yeah.
I've done it. I've whacked guys in school, and I've always been the girl who you are always wary of. But this was a lot of fun,
All of a sudden, I'm thinking maybe that you should be sitting where KKs are sitting. He should be sitting with us. Just say. I promise not to ask any nasty questions. So let's get into some character breakdowns. What are you playing, Sana? Tell us about that.
Well, this character's name is Sonia, and I can just tell you very little about this character because all I can say is the pro tip is maintain the mystery. That's what this character is all about. So that's what I am going to be doing right now also. You'll have to watch the web to find out whose side she's on. But all I can say is by her appearance, she's sharp, she's intelligent. Of course, she's in between all these intelligent and serious and dangerous people. And how she does what later is the story of this character.
So I hope they're making you dance. You're such a good dancer.
I wish, but I'll use my Instagram for that. If not, special post.
So are you in a position to tell us whether you're part of the operations team? Are you part of the ops? Or
I'm
no?
operating from both the sides.
Okay, fine. We will not push you. The thing about Himmat Singh, which I find really fascinating, is the way that they've aged him. So
Yeah.
I believe these days you can do it on the post. Was yours pure makeup? Was a bit of post? Because it's just spectacular. I mean, I'm not saying you look old now. Don't get me wrong.
I know
but
you're
I'm
getting
saying-
there, but anyway.
But I mean, you're looking like out of college.
Yeah. On radio you can't see, but I'll show this.
I told you I could pretend to be the hunk. I can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
So
So no, it's a mix of everything, including bringing your boyhood out while performing, your body language, etc., etc. So that adds on to it. And I'm yet to see the final product of the entire episode. Though I've seen it in the trailer, I'm quite impressed with it.
Well, I have to say, I mean, it's like Amir in Three Idiots playing the engineering student. He just looks so
Yes.
young and sprightly.
Yeah. So it's not just the skin; it also has to have the attitude. So yeah, we tried that as well in performance.
He said, you might want to consider that I am KK, the actor. I'm just saying. Because there's videos of Will Smith of how, they've turned back the
Yeah.
clock and,
That's-
post
those
and
are
things
good
like
examples.
that.
Yeah. Okay.
So is he what, the suit and tie wearing slick guy? Is he a chameleon-esque kind of guy? I'm talking about you, Karan.
Okay.
So because I see you in a shot in an airport,
Right.
which is like a luggage porter, and then I see you in slick suits.
Well, the best part about the trailer is that everyone has called me trying to understand what my character actually is.
And you're playing it off.
I think that's a good win because Neeraj sir and I were discussing, and he's like, I want people to discover you because there is a certain discovery on the show itself, and that's the charm of playing Farooq Ali, which is my character, because I do go through this entire journey under Himmat Singh's guidance to go and find this one guy that we've been looking for 19 years, and I do and be and emulate whatever I need to in that large arc. So yes, you do see me at an airport, I like how you think I'm a luggage person, but you know, you'll be fascinated to know that I'm not. And yeah, you'll be fascinated for, you know, lose might make a lot of sense even then. But yeah, you know, so
being very cryptic. I hope you understand.
But I hope the audience gets it. You know, when you're playing a spy thriller, the whole charm is that you've got to keep. You've got to keep all the hooks to yourself and let people discover it while they're watching the show. Yeah, but it's been an absolute joy. Again, you know, I keep saying the same thing because in one show I've got to play so many interesting facets of my character that at least I feel more explored as an actor than what I did.
Superstar.
Yeah.
So, Saiyami, were you India crew, foreign crew? I know there were two teams.
Fortunately, the agents were all in Jordan and Turkey and Azerbaijan, and sadly for KK sir, he was just in a little.
Yeah. That's why I'm sitting outside.
He was in
On the
Delhi,
edge.
so we got to travel.
Who said playing leading man is easy? No foreign trips.
I had to use my imagination so much.
You know, Raghuveer Yadav told me this once. He said, "क्या मैं इतना गरीब लगता हूँ क्या? मुझे foreign location लेना भी नहीं है." So sweetly he said, "मैं domestic में ही shooting रखते हैं फिर आया."
So we've had the joy of traveling everywhere, and just to add to what you were talking with Karan about, so he was in this garbage guy's costume, and I was in a air hostess costume, and we were shooting at the airport. And every time in between shots, because we were shooting in between flights coming in and out, Karan, people are like, is this the loo? By the end of it, he was just like, fine, I'm not an actor. Yes, this is the loo.
I was guiding people through the airport because we shot at a real airport, right? So we cordoned off a certain area through the day, and because we were dressed in the same outfits as the
airport staff
there.
Yeah.
So everybody, this one Jordanian came to me, speaking to me in Jordanian and asking me what the flight timings and where the
But
gates are.
you look like
so
Arab.
I do. I pass off. And by the end of it, you know, I was literally guiding everybody. I was like, you know what, down there on the left, you'll see gate 6. Oh, no, this bathroom shut.
Yeah, you could do a Sajjad Dilla film.
बहुत सारे नुक्ते लगा देना. There is the bathroom.
But I want to
do
talk
that.
about Sajjad because he is in promotion. Sajjad and I have had a blast shooting because I feel like with Sajjad, because he doesn't get the language too well. Yeah. So he's
But
he's
I
on a
don't know if
different
Sajjad,
plane.
he tries. He tries.
Yeah,
he
yeah,
tries.
he really-
very-
yeah, he does
works
it
very
well.
hard.
Yeah.
And I remember shooting this one scene, and we were on the 25th, 27th take because Sajjad has called me by every name but
Except
my character name. In fact, he called me by his own character name a bunch of times.
That is hilarious.
He's epic, and he doesn't even know it, right? Because he doesn't know the language well. But yeah, he's a baller. He's a very intense poet.
So Farooq came in the 28th take.
Farooq, I hope in some take he's there.
You have to get in touch with the
साउंड
editor.
वाले ने बोला कि पहले वाला उठा के डाल दूंगा मैं. पिछले सीन में फारूक बोला था ना, वो डाल दूंगा इधर पैच.
That is so hilarious. So, did you indulge in a game of cricket with this lady? You know, you know, she kicks
Right.
butt.
She
Like
does.
all these guys, you know,
She
Kapoor, Gaurav Kapoor, and Ankur Tiwari and Sathe talk about her cricket skills.
You know, when I look at Siamese, and I hope I said that right this time.
Almost
there. I think we all say Siamese name wrong.
You have no business to say Sajjad can't get your pronunciation. Get her.
Siamese, just say it. What is it?
Saiyami.
Saiyami.
Saiyam ke saath.
Saiyam.
Yes.
Saiyam ke
Every time I
saath.
look at Siamese Instagram, I feel like, you know, and with no sexist backlash, I feel like I'm looking at a boy's Instagram because she plays every sport.
Yeah.
And she plays it so well. And you know how usually you call up your boys and you're like, listen, when you're playing a game, the next time you call me. So I saw her play badly the other day on Instagram. I was like, listen, when you're playing, dude, call me, man. I'd love to play with you because she's so good. But unfortunately, on the schedules outside, you know, I didn't really get...
Always say play badminton with you, otherwise it sounds very wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, we get the context.
And there are
Broad
nasty radio
context.
stations that will actually make
Just like
promos.
this.
Not make promos.
I know what you mean.
But did you finish the marathon this time around? Did you do a
I did
full
the
marathon, half?
marathon. I did a full earlier this year, but I did a half. I'm all in the process of training for an Ironman, which I'm going to do in June if Corona permits. So I have my training going on, which is why exploring different countries is always so much fun, because on my days off I've kind of run Istanbul, like pretty much the whole of Istanbul. I did a long 28-kilometer run, so you get to see most when you're on your feet. So I love.
So in between
ये series
the
बहुत
badminton, in between the badminton and the marathon, she shoots with the Nagarjuna film, right? Special ops and things like that. So you also went to, was it Jordan?
Jordan.
Azerbaijan?
No, Jordan.
Where else? Jordan.
Jordan alone.
Sana had the most hectic schedule.
I want to kill you, Karan.
Sana had the most hectic. I don't think she saw any bit of Jordan.
You didn't?
No. He's just pulling my leg. I had a lot of holidays.
You did. Okay, fine. So he's being sarcastic.
Yes.
This is Karan being sarcastic.
Yes.
So this was Amman.
This is Amman. Amman, Aqaba, yeah.
Aqaba is where the
Red Sea is.
Aladdin.
the Aladdin.
The Aladdin?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So tell me about these places. What are they like? Because you saw those places.
कोई चिराग मिला?
Well, to answer that,
Did you get the lamp?
They were pretty like it's nice to travel to Jordan, and I've been there already thrice. So this was my
you
fourth
have.
trip.
Okay.
So the thing is, I had nothing to explore as a tourist. So I ended up going everywhere again and again, which I'd already been to before. So the thing was, Jordan was, I was wanting to go to Azerbaijan, and this character was supposed to be there, but later they told me that this character is not traveling. I was like, let the character not travel. Can you take me as a character? So yeah, but it's fun. I love Jordan.
we
To be very
went to
honest.
Petra together for the first time. That was your first
No.
time?
That
Oh,
was
you've been to Petra?
that was my fourth
Oh,
time
you've
with
been to
you.
Petra?
Yes, I've seen everything in Jordan. There's nothing.
Wow.
I can be a
So
guide
I
now.
saw
The latest Coldplay video is in Jordan, and they're on top of this
Yes,
huge ledge
yeah.
and performing and all. And I'm like, man, wow. You know?
In fact, we missed Coldplay just by a day.
What
They
are you
left a
saying?
day before we got in there.
If you'd been there, you would have get crashed.
I would have totally been. And ironically, our Jordanian crew is the ones that shot that video.
What are you saying?
So imagine the odds had we been there while they were filming.
And there was a sunset and a sunrise performance. Yeah, this is beautiful. So, what drives Himmat Singh apart from justice to go after this guy for 19 years?
That's a mystery.
Is he
because
a bit of an obsessive character?
No, I think that's a kind of a characteristic of all raw and IB intelligence officials. We often feel as to what drives them. One really doesn't know, and they are the unsung heroes. I think all of them, because for every one slip up, you have been saved 1,000 times before. And I guess it's country and things like that. So.
And have you spoken to a few of them? Was it part of the research?
Not really.
really.
I got my inputs through Neeraj and everybody. I normally don't go beyond that. I last time also told you. I
You're not
stick-
the method acting thing is a little too
Yeah,
stretched.
Stanislavski never said that it is the method, no? He said method acting.
Yeah.
I sort of restrict myself to getting the depths and heights of things rather than spreading it out. So for me, talking with Neeraj, writing, etc., helped me a lot. And his little episodes about what he has done in terms of research, in terms of writing, helped me a lot. So for me, that is.
And what does he play for you? Is it maps and diagrams, or is it some audio clues, or is it some videos?
No,
What's part of
the way he explains things to you about how he spoke to somebody and what happened thereof, and how this particular theory was also a theory in the actual RNAW. So gave me the feeling that Himmat Singh was right any which way. So yeah, so that's it. It's just passion and things like that. But this guy has a different kind of a mold when he's in the office and when he is on the job, vis-a-vis when he's at home, etc. So
And home is Vaibhavi, right? Who's playing your wife?
Gautami.
Yeah,
Gautami,
Ram's wife.
Yeah.
She's fantastic.
She's very good.
I've just loved her whenever I've seen her.
Yeah, very good.
And is she getting to do some action also, or is it she's probably the
क्या
only one who
मतलब
has
क्या action ही action सवाल करते हो यार
wife of agent doing action.
Wives are always doing the
Action.
That's a
Irrespective.
standard.
So yeah, they're wonderful. I mean, the whole experience is wonderful.
So it's great. I mean, so it's not the cliched agent who's has a bad private life, who's hit the bottle and things like that.
Nothing cliche about the whole thing.
Great.
Nothing.
Because we've seen the agents who are hitting the bottle and suddenly they're out with a vengeance. It's just a guy, one man and his obsession.
Yeah, absolutely.
In some ways. Yeah. That's wonderful. Listen, we're celebrating International Women's Month all this month on Radio 1.
Okay.
And we're saying, who is it that you pick as your most inspiring woman? It could be somebody in your family or friend circle or somebody in the public eye. So I'd like each one of you to take that a woman who really inspires you, who's unapologetic, who's inspiring, and why? Karan.
First of all, congratulations for spending an entire month celebrating women, and very rightfully so. It doesn't take me much to kind of answer this, because for me it will always be my mother. I think mothers are all just standard made by this one die that is just for them, because the balance that they have with nourishing and upbringing a family, with being a wife and a homemaker, and being your tutor when you need to study, and being that lady who makes your projects, and someone that who gives an emotional understanding to your intellect, has been my mother for me, and still is. She's my go-to woman, like all through and through. So for me, it'll always be my mum. Hi, mum. Hi. Hi.
And did she spur you on to be in the movies, or was your family? Did your family have nothing to do with it?
No, my family actually has nothing to do with films or the movie business. But my mother was the one that actually believed that I could probably do something in this field. My father was totally against it. So I had quite a dramatic relationship with my father while I was, touting to be an actor. But my mother, you know how mothers are. Mothers are sensitive towards their children's dreams. So she was always with me all through and through.
Saiyami, a woman who's inspiring in your life or otherwise.
Again, I think I would like to thank you all for celebrating this for a month, and hopefully the month becomes 11 months and then 12 months. But I spoke about this at another Women's Day event the other day. For me, it will be my grandmom, because she's somebody who has done films in 12 languages. She's somebody who got into films when it wasn't considered, it was looked down upon for women to be doing films, and she got into it because of financial conditions. Did it, she married the man of her choice who she loved. She supported 14 siblings on each side, and went on to becoming, I think, the mayor of Bombay, and went on to doing a lot of other work for society. So I just felt she was a woman of substance who kind of, stood by what she wanted.
Beautiful. Sana.
Well, people say that this is for a month, but I believe women have been celebrated for centuries and for lifetime, be it women or a man. But I think for me, someone who I really look up to is definitely my mother, because she's taught me how to be unconditional, how to be giving, how to be there for people, and be there selflessly, which is very important. I really thank her for giving me a great upbringing and values to make me learn how to, keep your family united, which is very, very important, because I think that is where today we lack, and we are so self-consumed that we forget that, you have to take your whole family, and, how you treat your friends. So I think there are a lot of things that my mom has taught me. So I am really, really grateful. And she's also taught me that no, it's okay if you cry, it's okay if you're sad, you can express it, but at the same time you should fight for yourself, and that's great.
KK.
I guess it's no different for me. I think mother, and if there's any definition coming closest to unconditional love, it's the mother. I don't think all relationships in this world are partly conditional. They have conditions put either upfront or underlying. Mother is somebody who is completely unconditional, and so that makes it perhaps the supreme form of love. So for me, mother is it is all the time.
Let's put KK Menon in the spot. Your biggest learnings from him. Such a master craftsman. I remember going to Prithvi and sitting in the front seat and seeing all these wonderful plays, and he just leave you spellbound, and he continues to do that. So when you watch him perform, I don't know if you have had any scenes with him, a couple of scenes maybe?
And very rightfully said by you that he leaves you speechless. We've all been fans of KK Menon. I don't know how many times does he have to say thank you in a day, but it's just so nice to be a part of a product that he's in. Having said that, my first scene with KK sir was a scene that we shot in Delhi, and where I'm playing like a very young version of me. And we didn't have dialogues, right? Because he's inside the car, I'm outside the car. You'll get to see what the scene is. But there is a certain communication that the both of us have. And I remember coming out and being like, damn, in all of these days, this is the best scene that I shot. And I told him also that I was like, sir, लाइनें नहीं थी हमारी, पर इतना bat off करने को मिला आपके साथ. And that's what happens when you work with, the man himself. That even without lines, he communicates so much that it actually elevates your performance. and we do need people like KK sir to kind of be a part of the product that we're in. To fill in all the holes where probably we must have messed up, and he's gonna take a good amount of care on it. And surprisingly, I actually have such a fondness for KK sir because of the script that we've shot. Because I do have a relationship with Himmat Singh, which is somewhere how I perceived it and how Neeraj also told me is very father and son in a way. So even when I look at him now, because of the interaction that I have on script.
It's more brother, not father, son. Brother. Karan brother.
So that kind of love I'll always have.
Good that he clarified. Some of these flashbacks of interviews coming. Irshad Kamil told me that. He said, "यार मैं उर्दू ज़बान में बात करता हूँ तो लोग समझते हैं मैं बूढ़ा आदमी हूँ." He said, "I'm a young guy, dude."
हाँ, बिल्कुल.
No, in a lot of aspects, I'm sure he's younger than I am.
So beautiful. Listen, thank you guys for rolling by, and
thank you.
We were shown only one episode. It was absolutely stellar, and I can't wait to watch the whole thing.
You watched one episode
You
completely?
watched
What?
Three. You have no one.
Only one,
We've not
yeah.
seen anything.
Well, you're the star cast. You will be shown at the appropriate time. Cheers, you guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
so much, man.
Thank you.
Thank you.